Hi, everyone. Welcome to True Disabled Story. My name is Nico, and I use he, him pronouns. I'm a white man with blonde hair, large blue and brown spectacles, a black headset, and a black with various colored dots, which look like the galaxy, a button up dress shirt. I'm seated against a purple wall and some bookcases. This is my home office. Like roughly 25% of Americans and a full 17% of Philadelphians, I'm disabled. Whether we look locally, nationally, or even globally, disabled communities are full of dynamic, diverse, and frankly delightful people with their own stories to tell. All we have to do is listen. As many of you know, I was born disabled. I've never known differently, and I probably always will be disabled. So I'm naturally curious when I meet friends or colleagues who are also disabled. I'm curious about their stories, about their experiences, and I'm honored to hear from a lot of folks. Tonight, I'm hearing from my friend Amar, who will share with us her journey and her perspectives. I can't wait. Hi, Amar. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey, I can't complain. Or I could, but what good would that complaining do? Amar, tell us, what was your path to diagnosis? What was that like? Was this a surprise that came out of the blue, or was it something maybe you were actively pursuing, or at least you suspected? Paint that picture for us.
Yeah, so I was diagnosed with spina bifida at birth. So it's something that I've lived with my whole life, and there's no real like surprises that come with it.
Valid. Thank you so much. I've had other folks guest with me on this show, I guess, this video playlist, with spina bifida. Um, and I really value getting to know your perspective as well. So I'm interested in the second question then. What impact has spina bifida had on your life? And you can take this however you feel comfortable answering. People have answered like in terms of their academic life, their personal life, professionally sometimes, but just in general, what impact has your diagnosis had on your life?
Yeah, so spina bifida is something that has impacted me in many ways. First, I have, uh, as a result of spina bifida, I have um, not quite a learning disability, but I do have some learning challenges, and I was never diagnosed with anything like that. So I don't know if there maybe is a learning disability that I'm just not aware of. But also I have other diagnoses like anxiety and depression, which often comes along with um a physical disability.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your answer. I can't imagine how like scary and even confusing it must be to have this learning difficulty, as you say, and wonder if it could be something more, it could be something worth following, or if it's just um, a, a quirk, I guess. It feels diminishing to say, and I don't mean it that way. But regardless, I see you in that confusion and mystery. I want to validate you there.
Thank you.
Of course, friend. Amar, so you have spina bifida, which was present at birth, and you also wrestle with anxiety, depression. If you could go back in time, I guess, or if you could advise someone else, someone just starting their spina bifida journey or just starting to address their anxiety and depression, what advice would you give?
I would say that your voice and your opinion is so important in your journey because advocating for yourself is the first step to advocating for other people, right? Like if you don't advocate for yourself, then what's the point of doing all the work for everyone else?
That's a really good point. I was in a random Zoom meeting, I think, with some other people, and one of them made a distinction, right, between being an advocate and being an activist, with the distinction being if you're an advocate, then you are advocating for yourself, for your own safety, your own rights, and what is owed you. But you're an activist if you advocate for other people and turn that action into something that is group based or community based. So there's another way to think about it, I guess. Amar, as our time together closes, my fourth and final question is one that I ask everybody, regardless of project. As disabled people, you and I so rarely get a chance to brag about ourselves, feel good about ourselves, really get our shine on. So this fourth question asks, what recent win have you got that you're celebrating in life? Or what cool things have you got going on in your pipeline? If you're interested in building community or networking, where can people find you online? But just in general, friend, this is your chance to promote yourself, be your own cheerleader, brag a bit, if you will. And I want to give you that space. So let's hear it.
Thank you. I appreciate this opportunity to brag because I don't get it often. Um, so I recently became Miss Wheelchair New York 2024. So that's been quite an exciting journey. And I've been advocating for disabled women's health, um, because oftentimes disabled women do not get the same sexual health resources and services as non-disabled women. Um, Although this is also true for men and non-binary and trans people as well. So you can find me in several different places. I have a website called Sexy Disabled Folks where I am the founder. Um, and you can also find me on Instagram with the at Sexy Disabled Folks or MWNY dot 2024. So that stands for Miss Wheelchair New York 2024.
Thanks, Amar. I really appreciate this. And I can tell that you're passionate about ensuring access to disabled forward reproductive health and sexual health. If I'm a disabled person, and I am, who might need information about my sexual health, my sexual well-being, what resources do you have to share? I can tell that you're passionate about this, so I want to give you some space and speak upon what you know.
Yeah, so depending on what a person's disability is, it kind of influences where you get your information from. So for example, in so I'm in New York, as you know, and so I know that there is a wheelchair accessible gynecologist office in Manhattan, um, called the Initiative for Women with Disabilities, and it's part of NYU Langone Hospital. And also other resources include like Planned Parenthood and other, like the list goes on, but it still could definitely improve.
Amar, thank you. I really learned something today, and I really appreciate the work that you do around this issue. Thank you so much for joining me. I know this was kind of sudden, I guess, but I really appreciate your voice, and it's always good to check in with you. Wherever you go, whatever you do, friend, I'm rooting for you. Take care, okay?
Take care.
Of course.